Hello again, friends. It's been quite some time since I've read our favorite novel of all time, Nighthawk by Jamie Bastido. But as you remember, we started this book before I went to vet school, and now I have 1 week of classes left. And so I thought it would be fitting if I finished the book before I finished my degree. So we have 6 chapters left, and I will read 2 today and 2 in the coming days, and the following 2 before I go home on Monday. So, pretty exciting. I hope you are looking forward to the conclusion of this thrilling tale, and I hope you haven't forgotten, as I have, what happened in the previous chapters. So, chapter 29 Into the Mess, Alberta Tar Sands. Ew, Willow says. What's that stink? Oh, classic. I had tried to ignore it. I'd hoped the Athabasca's green glory would go on and on deep into the boreal forest. I'd wanted to prove Pivo dead wrong, but there's no denying it. Something foul is in the air. Even I can smell it. I think a lot of humans farted all at once, Gonzo says. I'd seen it coming. Pivo's nasty human stuff. First, it was a big bunch of long, skinny lines of mowed down trees. Next it came huge blobs of forest stripped naked down to mud, as if the trees had uprooted and run away. Now it's a stinky yellow haze in the air. Willow flies so close to me I can barely get a flap in edgewise. I'm getting this freaky feeling, she says. I say. Humans are good at stinking things up. Get over it. No, I mean that smell. It reminds me of something. What? I don't know. I take a reluctant sniff and another. Distant memories pop into my brain, soft brood feathers tickling my beak, the friendly swish of poplar leaves, the sound of big wide wings, my mother's scream. I got it. Well? Remember how Winnie got stuck in hot tar? Yep, that's what you're smelling. Awful. Whoa, 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 whoa. That sound still sends shivers through my wings, especially now thinking of how my brother died. I sure hope that this is not the tundra, Gonzo says as he flaps us beside us. No trees is one thing, but no life? Everything suddenly went dark. Besides a few humans and some buzzy stuff from their funny towers and trucks, I'm picking up no luz de vida at all. Nada. Tell me what is going on down there. Welcome to the tar sands, says Pivo, who once again has silently snuck up behind us. Self-flying, a trick only known to owls and guardian nighthawks. As much as I'd like to learn it, I'd never ask her. I ignore Pivo, riveted by the gross scene below. The 4 of us fly side by side over a railway line that marks the boundary between the living and the dead. Bright green poplar stands and beaver ponds give way to oily muck. The songs of birds are replaced by the groan of machines. The land itself is steaming, just like Yellowstone. Disgusting, Willow says. What's up with this? Human. Oh, that was Willow, not Gonzo, whatever. Human feeding frenzy, Pivo says. They eat tar, Willow says. Pivo chuckles. Their machines do. Humans scrape and squeeze the ground to make food for their machines. I hate how Pivo has an answer for everything, how she knows so much about the world and is only a year older than me. I instinctively reach for height as the air gets hotter and stinkier. Meanwhile, Gonzo is plunging into the mess. He's used to bad smells. Gonzo, I call. Where are you going? I can sense some water down there. Oh man, this is gonna go well. You don't want to go down there, Gonzo, Pivo says. You don't know nothing, chicken hunter. Where there's water, there's fish. It's a stretch to call even that water, Pivo shouts after him. As usual, Gonzo has his own ideas. He pulls his wing into a half-tuck and swoops towards a huge pond covered in a scum of rainbow-colored oil. I plunge after him, thinking one gulp of that icky stuff or a splash of it on his wings, and Gonzo's a dead duck. Down in Texas last fall, I'd seen dozens of ducks floating belly up in an equally disgusting pond. Stay high, Willow, I cry without looking back. Get way up there, don't follow me. Aw, she whines. Forget it, Gonzo, I yell. You can fish once we get out of this mess. Too bad you don't like fish, Gonzo yells back, now going into a full tuck. I know I can beat Gonzo on a dead drop dive. I did it over Popocatépetl volcano, and I can do it again. But Gonzo has a huge head start this time. Gonzo, stop. Get off my back, Weemp. I'm hungry for fish. I barely hear him. Through the roar of wind past my ears, the stench of oil and tar and smoke flood my nostrils. Gonzo levels off just before the oil slick. I take aim, tuck myself into a spear point, and hurtle towards him. Gonzo opens his beak just as I streak to his side. "Don't!" I yell. Boom! A deafening crack batters my skull. One wingtip grazes the surface of the oil. I flare my wings to shake it off. The tail feathers break the surface and get coated in more gunk. "Gonzo, help!" I madly flap to keep airborne. Whoa, 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 whoa. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Gonzo circles back and zooms straight for me. A flash of panic in his eyes. He thrusts out his legs. He displays his dinosaur feet. Not again. The impact knocks the wind out of me. Boom! I feel Gonzo lurch at the sound of another crack. Now, locked together, we're both nosediving towards the gunk. I can only groan. Gonzo pumps the air like a mad eagle, straining for lift. He catches some air with less than a feather to spare before we would have to hit the surface of the killer pond. Boom! "Ay, caramba," Gonzo says, even as he lifts me high above the tar sands. "This is one freaking crazy place." Boom! Fucking humans, am I right? Thanks, Gonzo, I say when I can breathe again. "Could you maybe let me go?" "But you got all that stinky stuff on your feathers." "No, really, let me try. If I fall, would you catch me again?" "If you insist. But let's not make this a habit, okay?" "Okay, but you are not the first chicken hawk I catch, if you know what I mean." "I get you, Gonzo." I feel a slight tremor come through Gonzo's feet, like he's just realized how close we came to biting it. He lets go. "Ouch!" I cry as I catch a wing on Gonzo's claws. I can barely flap my soiled wing. The other burns where Gonzo had hooked me, and my steering is all wonky thanks to an oiling tail. But I'm airborne. I'm alive. "Gracias, Gonzo," I say as we spiral up together. "De nada, amigo. How you say, owed you one." We climb high above the tar sands until I can see the boreal forest pick up again far to the north. I was beginning to wonder if this dead zone went on forever. "What was that loco sound?" Gonzo asks as we level off at 5,000 wing beats. "I think it's supposed to scare off birds," I say. I think maybe it worked. I laugh as I casually start looking around for Willow. Nothing but yellow haze. "Are you picking up any life forms, Gonzo, like my sister?" Gonzo swings in a wide circle, opens his beak, and slowly rocks it left and right, up and down, scanning the whole sky. "Nobody but us chickens, wimp." Very funny. That's when it hits me, deep in my gizzard. In the flurry to save Gonzo, I left my sister in the clutches of a wily guardian who I trust as much as Flares himself. 0. Chapter 30. Steering Home. Slave River, Northwest Territories. "Stop scaring me like that," I say. "I didn't mean to," Willow says. Where have I heard that before? Pivo? You're even beginning to sound like her. I hear muffled giggling beside Willow. Our uninvited guardian guest is trying hard to be one of the gang since our disgusting day at the tar sands. After much frantic sky searching, Gonzo and I had finally spotted Willow, 8,000 wing beats above that stinking wasteland. Pivo explained that the yellow haze burned Willow's eyes, so she thought it best to rise above and get some fresh air. Yeah, right. Pivo has been acting extra protective of Willow these days, like an older sister or second mom, warning her of sudden downdrafts, fussing over where Willow should sleep, sharing the fattest bugs. I hear them talking Spanish. Once, when they were blabbing away about loco this and canario that, they started laughing so hard they almost fell out of the sky. I thought of asking Gonzo to translate, but was too proud to ask. To add to my misery, Pivo has been teaching Willow some flying tricks that even I don't know, like low-level stealth flying and doing a backward somersault while hovering. Make me sick. I fly above the Slave River Valley in grumpy silence. I eventually lose myself in boreal beauty. I notice that the late May leaves are a lot smaller this far north. Big pans of rotten ice still drift down the river. Flock after flock of ducks, geese, and swans quack, honk, and trumpet all around us as I realize we're moving north in the cutting edge of spring. This begins to worry me. Will the tundra still be frozen when I get there? 100 Arctic terns explode off a mudflat as our shadows streak over them, and I find myself thinking of the silver-winged birds of my crazy dream. My dream of a giant raven who lives on a tundra lake and has wings as wide as this valley. This strange image, which both frightens and fascinates me, reminds me that as much as I love the boreal forest, I can't stop now, not here. Okay, straight up there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 commas in that sentence. With each wing flap, I can feel the call of the tundra getting stronger. But honestly, I don't know what to make of it anymore. I can thank Pivo for totally confusing me on this. Others will follow you, Wisp. The heck does that even mean? All I know is that each day I must fly due north, farther and faster than the day before, and my strange flock is beginning to grumble. What's the big rush? Willow whines. The tundra, if it exists, is probably still covered in snow. She's thinking that too. Snow? Gonzo says. What is that? You've never seen it? Willow asks. Why would he have seen it? He lives in fucking Mexico. Gonzo shakes his head. Nunca, never. It's this crusty white stuff that you can freeze your feet in. Oh, Nieve, I've heard about this. Only in mountains, no? No, Gonzo, I say. Might be a little bit on the tundra. Gonzo makes an upside-down lunge at me. You did not tell me this, wimp. Don't worry, Gonzo, I say. The caribou will be there with or without snow. This Yellowknife place east there. I just assumed that it would have been spelled right and it was not. This Yellowknife place east there. It's a Yellowknife, Gonzo. Exactamente. Is there any snow there now? No, Gonzo, but... So why we not stop there to go fishing? Maybe fish the dumpsters too, no? You're addicted to Gonzo. Yeah, Willow cries, why not stop there? I huff and pull way ahead of the flock. I feel it cracking inside. Two bearings come out of hiding and start battling inside me. Go northwest, take a side trip to my nesting place in Yellowknife, or go due north to the tundra, where my inner navigator is pulling me. This battle gets fiercer the closer I get to Moosehead School. I shake my head, trying to silence the war within. It only gets louder. I'm through with Yellowknife. What's the thrill in claiming old turf? Any bird can do that. Half of it burned down anyways. I'm out to find a new home, claim new territory, to live free, wherever and however I like. Arctic tundra, here we come. I've pumped my wings harder yet, aiming due north, knowing that I've made my mind up once and for all. Then again, what's the harm in one teeny look at the place we hatched? Maybe it's visited on the way out to the tundra? Just a little detour, right? My brain turns to pulp. My beak aches from clenching it. I feel ripped in two, until Pivo barges in. I'm with you on this one, Wisp. She says, let's push north to the tundra. You don't want to stop in Yellowknife. That settles it. My swollen pride and bruised ego kick all logic and reason, hopes and dreams right out of my head. My inner battle becomes an outer battle between Pivo and me. I slam on the air brakes until I'm beak to beak with Pivo. How would you know what I want? I cut her off and make a sharp turn northwest straight for Yellowknife. Come on, Willow, Gonzo, time for school. I close my eyes for a few wing beats, letting raw instinct steer me back to my first and only real home. I totally ignore the shrieking of my inner navigator, now more powerful than ever, calling me to an entirely different destination. It was really touching to see a teenage bird showing teenage human behaviors.